These are my grades for the Montreal Canadiens players for the 2022-23 season. The overlays were made 2 games before the end of the season. I'll give you updates as I go along in the video. Josh Anderson, 69 games, 21 goals, 11 assists, 32 points. Josh Anderson is normally a streaky player, but I found at the halfway point of the season, with all the injuries, that streakiness kind of went away right up until he was injured. He delivered on his physicality. He stood up for his teammates, and he just looked like a player, even at 28 years old, that got better. Josh Anderson gets a B. Yoel Armia, 43 games, 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points. What's there to say about Armia? He's normally frustrating and everything. Armia, I give Armia a C. Alex Belzile, 31 games, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. He broke a bone in his foot in his last game. Alex Belzile, at 31 years old, was impressive when he came up with all these injuries. He stuck around for the first time, I think, ever, and he really delivered. He gave life to that fourth line, was able to be inserted wherever needed in the lineup. I give Alex Belzile A minus. Cole Caulfield, 46 games, 26 goals, 10 assists, 36 points. He got hurt just over the halfway mark. By the end of the season, only Nick Suzuki was able to tie him for goals. He definitely would have been, was on a 46 goal pace. And I thought Cole Caulfield, if he didn't emerge before this, he definitely emerged and lived up to his promise, and hope to see more. I give him an A. Kirby Dach, 58 games, 14 goals, 24 assists, 38 points. Kirby Dach, he doesn't think he fully emerged. I think Kirby Dach emerged as a second-line center for sure, a future elite center. Definitely solidifies the middle for Montreal, and I think that he was on pace for 55 points. Kirby Dach is just a core piece going forward, and it's going to be a Hab for a long time. He did a great job this year. Kirby Dach gets an A. Jonathan Drouin, 58 games, 2 goals, 27 assists, 29 points. In a contract year, Jonathan Drouin basically put up numbers that he normally puts up. If you prorate those numbers, that falls in the ballpark, maybe even a little on the low side. Very disappointing for a guy who needed to impress this season. He impressed nobody. Jonathan Drouin gets a D. Christian Dvorak, 64 games, 10 goals, 18 assists, 28 points before having a knee injury that ended his season. Devo, an average season. I don't think he impressed much. He was great at the faceoff circle. It's what you can expect from Christian Dvorak. I would have expected a little bit more. He was on a good pace last season. It was a little disappointing. A C for Christian Dvorak. Jake Evans, 54 games, 2 goals, 17 assists, 19 points. Jake Evans, I think, fell off a little bit on the offensive side. Might have been a little bit better on the defensive side. I know that was his focus for this year. I still like Jake Evans. I think Jake Evans still has upside. A C. Brendan Gallagher, 37 games, 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points. Gally was not good at the beginning of the season. Then he got injured, and he just couldn't. He tried to come back, and he couldn't. He got injured again. And then when he came back the last time, I thought the last 10 games, Gally was pretty good. Maybe not great in the last 2, but he started to put up some points, and he was looking really good. I give him a C minus. Denis Gurianov, with Montreal, 23 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. Gurianov had one really good hot streak here with Montreal where he put up like 4 goals in 5 or 6 games. A little disappointed that streak didn't kind of continue. Overall, I still like what I've seen from him. I think he deserves a contract, just not at the qualifying offer of $3 million. I think that's too much. I think if they work out a contract that's less for 1 or 2 seasons, I'd like to see Guryanov remain. Guryanov gets a B minus. Mike Hoffman, 67 games, 14 goals, 20 assists, 34 points. Hoffman, while at times looked good, but they weren't often enough and weren't for long enough streaks. You always expect a little more from Hoffman. He's a veteran and a goal scorer and good on the power play, and he wasn't that much of those at all this season. Mike Hoffman gets, for me, a C. Sean Monahan, 25 games, 6 goals, 11 assists, 17 points. Sean Monahan in the 25 games looked fantastic. Loved what I saw from him. Big mistake was they allowed him, and he wanted to also play with a broken bone in his foot. It's explained by Gordon and Hughes in the postseason stuff. It didn't work out. Caused another injury. He never came back. I don't know what else to give him, but I'm going to give him this. A B. By the way, if you don't agree with any of these grades, let us know in the comment section what you think. Mike Pezzetta, 63 games, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Mike Pezzetta, while having a slow start to the season, trouble getting in at the beginning of the season in games, when Alex Belzile got called up, that line took off. And that line at some games was the best line on the team. Mike Pezzetta looked good. Put up about the offense you would expect from him, but he was standing up for his teammates, a few fights. A B for Mike Pezzetta. Rem Pitlick, 46 games, 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points. Rem Pitlick fell off in production from last season. I think he struggled at times, and then at times he looked really good. There were games where he looked really good, but he couldn't keep that consistency at all. And like I said, the production was down. I'm giving Rem Pitlick a C. Raphael Harvey Pinard, 34 games, 14 goals, 6 assists, 20 points. He was sent down at the end of the season to help Laval get into the playoffs, which happened. I thought he was fantastic in his time here. This guy's a 20-goal scorer, 7th round pick. The energy that he brings, the pure passion for the game, the work ethic, I think it's something every team needs, and he delivers it in droves, and that's what drives his success. And this season, I'm giving Raphael Harvey Pinard an A. Uri Slavkovsky, 39 games, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. I think if you have hindsight and you look back, Uri Slavkovsky probably should have started in the AHL and would have benefited probably more from doing that. He was a little bit disappointing. He's 18 years old. It was a big stage and a lot of adjustments, so I'm definitely going to give him that. But I think Slav would probably benefit from spending next year in the AHL. I'm going to give Slav this year, who I really liked, and there were flashes of some really good stuff. I'm going to give Slav a B minus. Nick Suzuki, Captain Nick, 82 games, 26 goals, 40 assists, 66 points. So that is a career high in goals and a career high in points, and he matched last year's totals of 40 assists. Nick Suzuki, I think he delivered on being the captain, being able to handle that, not missing a game, being a great leader. He had a couple of slumps, yes, but I think Nick Suzuki, if he hasn't proved to everybody that he can be a point of game player and a legitimate captain of this team, I don't know. I give Nick Suzuki A. I give him an A. I really want to give him an A plus, but I think he could have not had some of those slumps, but other than that, well deserving of the A. And I think we're going to see great things from Nick. Can't say enough about him. Chris Tierney picked him up on the waiver wire. 23 games with Montreal, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from him. I thought he was okay, nothing spectacular, capable to fill in for what we needed him for. I don't know that he returns. I don't know that he showed enough to come back, but I'm going to give Chris Turney a C plus. Jesse Ullinen, 37 games, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. Ullinen looked great at times. There were games where he looked great, and there weren't enough of those. That was the big problem. But I think he looked like an NHLer, almost ready, maybe not fully. I think if he looks good in camp, Ullinen comes back next year and they give him another good look, and hopefully he's ready. But I think he showed flashes of it, and so I'm giving him a B minus. Time for the defense. Justin Barron, 39 games, 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points. Barron came in a little bit later than the other guys on defense. He started a little bit after the injuries happened. He stepped right in. I love his offensive upside. I find him great on the power play. I like the way he steps in on the offense, comes in kind of late like the trailer, and he's got a great shot. And his offensive upside is pretty big, I think. We haven't seen it yet. I like the way he improved as he went along. And when he came back from injuries, it didn't affect him, and he was still effective. So Justin Barron for me gets a B plus. Joel Edmondson, 61 games, 2 goals, 11 assists, 13 points. That's pretty much right on the money for Edmondson as far as offensive contribution. I just found he wasn't good at times. A lot of mistakes, taking a lot of penalties. There were times when he was the shutdown Joel Edmondson, but not often enough. I give him a B minus. Caden Gooley, 44 games, 4 goals, 14 assists, 18 points. Caden Gooley was just everything I thought he would be. Stepped right in as a rookie and a top line, and he was effective and he was good. And I was really impressed with Caden Gooley. He's got defensive side of his game, and he's got that offensive side too. So he's a well-rounded defenseman. He's a top pairing defenseman of the future, and I give Caden Gooley A minus. Jordan Harris, 65 games, 4 goals, 13 assists, 17 points. I love Jordan Harris's game. I like the way that he knows when to pinch in and become part of the offense. I like his deceptiveness as far as he stick handles well. He gets in deep. I think he's a really smart player and a very intelligent kid. And I thought I really liked the way that he improved as the season went along. So Jordan Harris gets a B plus. Jonathan Kovacevic, 77 games, 3 goals, 12 assists, 15 points. I never heard of Kovacevic before. We got him on the waiver wire, and he came in, and he was effective. He's a big guy, can play a bit of a physical game, and he also has some offensive upside. I just really liked what I saw from Kovacevic as a rookie, and I'm excited to see this guy that came out of nowhere, kind of. I'd like to see what Montreal's plans are for him. But I thought he did a good job in his rookie season. And Jonathan Kovacevic gets from me a B plus. Mike Matheson, 48 games, 8 goals, 26 assists, 34 points. If you prorate Mike Matheson's numbers over 82 games, he comes out with 72 points. Now think about that. Mike Matheson stepped it up big time. Yes, he was injured for a good part of the season, but he stepped it up big time. I just love his game. He's so fast, smoothest skater I've seen in a long time. And I love the way he twists and turns and gets in there, contributes to the offense, gets back. Even if he was on an offensive play, he gets back to defend. He makes a mistake here and there, costly ones too, but he makes up for it in everything else. And 72 points when his previous best was 31. That's awesome. And Mike Matheson gets from me The only A+ I'm going to give in this report card. A+ for Mike Matheson. David Savard, 62 games, 3 goals, 17 assists, 20 points. A little bit surprising for the offense from David Savard. We saw a little bit, he has every now and then he's got this makes a beautiful move, gets in there, scores a goal or whatever. So he's got some offense to his game, but that's not really part of his game. I think he did a fantastic job defensively, blocking shots, leading back there behind, on the defense, coaching the young kids on the bench, all kinds of good stuff. I think David Savard did a good job this year, and I'm going to give him a B. Chris Weidman, 46 games, no goals, 6 assists for 6 points. Chris Weidman, he's your 7th defenseman at best, can fill in on third pairing when needed, has a little bit of offense in his game. It didn't really show this year. Can play on the power play on the second unit, be a bit of a power play quarterback. I don't know. I think he had a fall off this year and wasn't really impressed with Weidman very many times this year. So for Chris Weidman, I'm going to give him a C-. Arbor Jacki, 51 games, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. Arbor Jacki came out of nowhere, basically. I believe he was undrafted. The Habs signed him, and he impressed in his first rookie camp and in rookie camp this year. And who would have thought he was going to get a regular role with all the injuries? He got the opportunity, and he took advantage of it. Considering where he came from and the improvements he made over the season, I think he did an awesome job as far as physical play. You could tell when he got injured, Montreal missed him big time. Arbor Jacki gets from me an A-. Now we'll move on to the goaltenders. Jake Allen, 42 games, 15, 24, and 3, with a .355 goals against and an .891 save percentage and 1 shutout. Jake Allen did, I think, a really good job as far as, there were games where he wasn't great, but most games he was amazing. It was impossible with the team in front of him to keep. He took the brunt of the losses. I just think he did a great job. I don't know what else to say about Jake Allen. He's been around a long time. He delivered on what you expect from Jake Allen, and I don't know what else you could ask from him. Jake Allen gets from me a B. Sam Montembeault, 40 games, 16, 19, and 3. .342 goals against, a .901 save percentage, and no shutouts. At points in the season, and I'm not sure at the end of the season if he was still top 10 in this category, but he was top 10 in goals saved above average. That says a lot for his progress. I think Sam Montembeault made a statement this year saying he's ready to challenge for the number 1 spot for the Montreal Canadiens in the future. I like the way he goes side to side. I love his reflexes. He's really quick. He's playing a positional game that's looks sometimes like Carey Price, and he tracks the puck really well, and his focus is really good. I really love his focus, and I just think he's a goalie that people think, I don't know why they don't see what I see in him, but I think he's got a lot of potential, has not hit his ceiling at all, and I think Sam Montembeault is at the very least option 1A for the Montreal Canadiens in the future, if not the starting goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens of the future. I give Sam Montembeault an A.